Playing bass for probably 25 years now. I'm more known lately as a jazz bass player. The thing about me is that I've played every style of music over the years. I started off back in the 90s in a punk band, for example, and then I moved on to new wave music, and I played pop music. I played with loads of different kinds of people.
I got into music because I was listening to a lot of music, predominantly sort of soul and funk. I just gravitated towards the bass, really. I thought it was going to be easier because it only had 4 strings, but actually it's harder.
My family are mostly musicians, so it was there from the ages from 0. I was sort of being exposed to music. By the time I was 8, I had a fairly comprehensive knowledge of jazz, and I was sort of tired of listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday every day. So I kind of, I had piano lessons when I was very young, violin lessons. I then started playing classical guitar. I was in a school band when I was 13. There were about 50 guitarists at my school. There were only 2 bass players. Our bass player got ill, so we couldn't have done the gig, and the drummer said to me, well, can't you play bass? I said, well, no, I don't. And he said, just try. And I picked up a bass, and because of the classical guitar connection with these 2 fingers, I was playing bass, and that's it. I became the bass player in the band.
My inspiration for bass, as I say, I listened to a lot of jazz, funk music, so even back then, quite often I didn't really know who was on records, but later on I realised that I kept gravitating towards people like Marcus Miller, a guy called Willie Weeks, who plays on a lot of Donny Hathaway stuff. I used to like him.
What LCCM does really well is make sure that all the students have got enough face time with those professional musicians that they can really learn from it in small class sizes and a lot of one-to-ones, so they really do get access to the faculty.
Here we are, stage door. It's off the theatre. Ease in, yeah. And voila, on stage. There we are, off the theatre. Okay, at the moment I'm working on a show called Memphis. It's a musical in the West End of London. It's quite a different mindset to going on stage and kind of shaking your ass and sort of showing what you can do on a bass guitar. Your personality doesn't really necessarily need to be there, present. What most shows are looking for is consistency, precision, and playing it exactly the same as you played it the night before that.
Everything But the Girl was my start in the music business, really. That was my big break. So I did my first big tours, and I got to start earning some money and started buying gear, and really started getting into the industry properly, you know.
The first bass that I ever had wasn't a great instrument. It was a short scale copy of a Rickenbacker, and it wasn't a great instrument by any means.
Predominantly I've ended up with this. I bought this in the early 90s when I was on tour with Galliano. It's a Fender, 4-string Fender Jazz Rosewood neck. I also have a Precision bass here, Fender Precision, which is slightly different from that. It has a more darker sound, great for reggae, also good for funk and rock, and you know, these things are used on everything. That's a maple neck, which gives you a slightly brighter sound than a rosewood neck.
And what do you like about the college?
I love it because it's a college that prepares bass players for the real world, they want to become working musicians.
I think it makes a huge difference having actual professional musicians in working there, because they have much more knowledge about what it's actually like to be in the music business. You know, for example, I say to the students, make sure you work on your reading, because it opens up so many different avenues. It's so difficult just to do one thing nowadays. For example, I do producing now, and I do arranging for people. I mix things, I make library albums.
You need to work really hard these days because there's a lot of people doing it, and there's a lot of colleges, and there's not a lot of space for everybody, so you do need to be good at what you're doing.
My first gig I ever played was opposite a band called Theatre of Hate, and the bass player in that band had a fretless bass, which I thought I'd never seen before, and this was way before I'd seen Jaco Pastorius. So I took all the frets out of my bass, and I was playing in a punk band with a fretless bass.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful, beautiful bass. I played it with Seal, a couple of years touring.
The main amp I use is a Mark bass combo. Actually, it's an acoustic combo because it's great. It has two inputs. Sounds great on the acoustic and the electric.
I use Mark bass amplification, which in my opinion is the best bass gear in the world. Not just because I'm endorsed by them, but I genuinely believe that it's absolutely fantastic.
I predominantly think Ampeg are fantastic. It's got one 15-inch in it, it's not valve, it's actually transformer, but it's modelled on being valve, and it sounds amazing, to be honest with you.
I had 8 years playing with Jamie Cullum. That was a real highlight for me, because I saw and helped him grow from nothing. All the way up to playing at the Albert Hall for 3 nights, you know, I mean, it really went from nothing to that, you know, and I was part of that from the beginning, you know. So I was really fortunate to be doing that.
You know, I've done lots of touring. I played for Paul Weller, which was fantastic. I kind of realised a lot when I played for him. I realised how important good songs are. He's a great songwriter, and it really hit me, wow, these songs, and how much it meant to people, you know, his songs.
You know, an exciting moment was playing Tainted Love with Mark Almond in front of about 50,000 people, and everybody going, "Aye," as you play the first notes of the bass line, because it's just such a classic. But also playing with my own band, 24 Pesos, when we go out to Europe, and there are some pretty big festivals out there, and we get to play in front of 20,000 people sometimes.
And then of course Galliano, which was great fun because I was young and we were out there touring, we were all young. And yeah, one of my greatest moments is playing Glastonbury with them, really. I've always loved Glastonbury, and I finally got there with them, and we played that great gig on the main stage one afternoon. Fantastic, yeah, just to see loads and loads of people, as far as the eye could see, you know.
I think the important thing about being a good bass player is listening. Write them down, transcribe things, find out exactly what the masters do. The great thing about LCCM is it has such a broad sweep of music. It has something for everybody.
I do workshops where we listen to what I consider to be great music, we piece it apart, we find out exactly what's going on with it, and we play it. And we play it so that it's played as best as we can, like it is, or as we're hearing it, you know. Working at the college showed me that how it would have been wonderful to have that kind of thing in my day, because I had to just pick it up off records or whoever I could pick it up off. So it's great to have that opportunity now, you know.
I don't know how many gigs I've done in my career. It's going to be 20,000 or something. So it's fantastic that I'll be able to make music and earn a living out of it.
I think the important thing nowadays about being a bass player is being well-rounded and being open-minded.
Listen to as much music as you can from every era, including now, and try to understand what it is that makes that music so good, whether it be the drums, bass, keys, guitar, singing, whatever, but try to understand as much of all of it as you possibly could.
Being a well-rounded, well-schooled musician, being disciplined,
Never give up, basically, is my sort of my philosophy, and perseverance, keep pushing and keep believing that you are going to arrive at the place you want to be, which is being a professional bass player, really busy with loads of gigs.